Hi everyone and welcome to Coach's Corner. We're talking basketball this week as we are smack dab in the middle of our high school basketball season. The Ponca City girls and boys had a busy week last week and have a big home game coming up on Friday of this week with Stillwater. More on that in just a moment. We start out with our girls basketball coach, Coach Winburn. And Coach, you played two teams that are arguably top 10 any class in the state of Oklahoma last week, Shawnee, Bishop, McGinnis. You knew it would be a tough week. Let's move past that week. I know that you're ready to.
Well, I think we can talk about that. Shawnee's a great team, 17-0, and they're ranked number one for a reason. I thought we came down and executed a lot better than we did the first time we played them. I thought it was a pretty good ball game first half, but that second half destruction's what got us. The same way with McGinnis, we had the lead the first quarter. Second quarter played pretty good. Just before half, though, we have that notorious 2-minute, 3-minute lull before half, and it hurt us. We were down 6, and then third quarter we just destroyed ourselves. But honestly, I can say this about the kids. It's not a matter of work because they're working hard. They're doing all they can do. It's just a matter of who we're playing. You need a breather somewhere down the line, and we don't have any. And so it's kind of like a perfect storm. You're improving, you're getting better, but the competition is so tough for us. It's like playing in the state tournament every time we play.
Well, that's an excellent way to put it because you've had a recurring theme. You say, well, it was that little 2-minute or 3-minute burst, and for some of these teams that are really good, that's all it takes. Average teams or below average, you can survive that. But these teams that, have Division I players, which we're seeing right now, they need 2 or 3 minutes, and they can take a small lead or a small deficit, and they can widen it out.
They really can, and that's what's happening. We need someone that's more of our caliber, not the number 1 or number 2 or number 3 team in the state to play. And I think it would give us some energy, would help us to kind of get over this hill that we're having to try to climb. And you make a mistake against a good team like that, and it's just so difficult to overcome it because they're going to capitalize on it, and both teams have.
Well, Ponca City lost to Shawnee and lost to McGinnis last week. Again, 2 top-flight teams. One bright spot, though, has been Kendall Dunn this season, Coach.
Absolutely.
She's a junior, which is really good because you got her for another year. And sometimes you watch the girls out on the court. Her mind is always in the ball game. She's a player, and she's led you in rebounding and in scoring this season. And she's really had kind of quietly a really fine season.
It is kind of a quiet thing. You really don't notice her, but when you look at your stats and you look at how the game's being played, she's a very key ingredient for us, very important. And she has improved. She's come a long ways in just a short period of time. Very focused kid, always ready for a ball game. And people have to deal with her inside abilities. And her shots continuing to improve and her strength's getting better. So she's becoming more of an all-around player. And obviously she's our defender that we put on their best player. That's what we do with it, whether it be a post or whether it be a guard. That's where Kendall's going to play.
Absolutely. Well, your team has lots of floor burns. Unfortunately, though, they just don't have wins to show it. But we're coming up on another part of our season. We have a home game, which is nice. Again, not only has the schedule been difficult, Coach, it's been away from home, too.
It has. 5 of the next 6 are home games. And the good thing about it, the one that's on the road is a team that we beat. So that makes for a good combination. Plus 2 of those home games are people that we played within 5 points of. So we have some opportunity now looking to that, and I think the kids will be excited this week, and we'll work very hard. Stillwater's always a great opponent for us. It's a great rivalry that I inherited when I came here. It's been here for years, but we're looking forward to that game on Friday night, being home and getting a chance to knock off a very good basketball team in Stillwater.
Well, Stillwater on Friday night is the home game, and I can recall that Ponca City went to Stillwater, Coach, and it was another one of those real close ball games after the first quarter, and we had a bad second quarter, and they opened it up. So it's a 4-quarter. You play 32 minutes, you give yourself a chance.
That's correct, and we've got to get to where we can do that, and hopefully we will. Hopefully we play 32 minutes this Friday.
Let's talk a little bit about this time of the season, because here we As we record our program, it is the end of January. We're heading for the first week of February, and it's also a time of year when coaches get ready to, if you will, make their cases for the upcoming playoffs. What's the timetable? When do records go in, and when do they start making regional assignments, Coach?
Actually, they start this weekend. I voted the first time on the east side. You have two votes now. You have the overall, which is all teams in Class 6A, and then you have an east side, which is the 16 teams that's on the east side. We voted for the first time this weekend on that. We will do that again next weekend in next week's final vote. Next weekend will determine exactly how the matchups will be. Kind of lets us know at this point, tomorrow it comes out at noon, we'll be able to kind of tell who's the number 1 seed, who's the number 16 seed, and you start matching it up, 1 with 16, 2 with 15, and so on. So we're right in the middle of this. A big win against Stillwater would be great for us based upon next week's rankings, and then also an opportunity on Tuesday to play a Shawnee team. So we're right in the middle of the last part of this drawing up the records.
Well, it puts an extra emphasis on the Stillwater game, doesn't it? That could be the difference in maybe going somewhere and maybe getting a neutral game site.
Well, that'd be the nice thing, is to get that neutral site. That's what you try to do. You don't want to play number 1, 2, 3, or 4, so you got to be above that 13, 14, 15, 16 seed, and that's what we're trying to achieve.
Very good. Coach, good luck to you.
Let me say one thing, Phil, before we get off.
Coach.
Let me trade hats here. And I just want to compliment our boys program right now. What a tremendous game they played Friday night. I know from my perspective, in the 4 years that I've been at Ponca City, that is the finest game that I've ever seen our boys play. And my hat's off to them and Coach Hibbler and his staff. What a great win for them, and we're just hoping for the best for them too.
So that's your girls basketball coach's hat off and your athletic director hat on. You were the first one that came onto the floor after the ball game the other night, all smiles, despite the fact that you had your struggles with your girls team. You came on there, and that was a great win for Ponca City. We're in a if you will, a bit of a time where nobody expects us to go on the road and win very many ball games, and it's pretty tough. And that was an awfully good team they beat on their home court.
That's exactly right. To go beat McGinnis at McGinnis is tough to do. And you can just kind of see us, I call it blooming, just starting to really come out in their game, and this is the best time of the year to be doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with you, and I'll say this because I don't like to confront coaches with good things, because they're modest, but Alan Hibbler is an awfully good basketball coach.
He really is, and I feel so good for him because he's worked so hard the years that I've been here, and of course he worked that hard before he came, but to see the success in his program now, that's what he deserves and needs, and so my hat's off to him and his staff, and especially to those boys.
Coach Winburn, our athletic director, girls basketball coach, on this week's edition of Coach's Corner.